Good morning, guys. Good morning on a Saturday morning. So this morning we're going to be talking about what the president said regarding South African visas for Nigerians, and also we're going to hear what the Nigerian billionaire Aliko Dangote once said about visa in Africa, and also we're going to hear what South Africans says are their concerns valid, and as well as we'll hear what some Nigerians think about the Nigerians that are living in South Africa. With that said, welcome to South Africa Lately, a channel that discusses South African trending news. We do, however, grab here and there from international news when it is trending enough to be brought here. Also, the government tried to explain, to re-explain what they actually intended to say on that day, and South Africans are not having it. So, before we go further, let me remind you what the president said on that fateful day that has led to the uproar, which carries a possibility of a shutdown on Monday. So I'm saying a possibility of a shutdown because somehow I don't see it becoming a shutdown. There can be attempts, but I don't see it becoming a shutdown because we are in the festive season, and we all know how we South Africans behave during that time. Nothing matters. Even work doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. Some even go to work with hangovers during the week. So I don't really see it prospering. But anyway, let me remind you what the president said.
Our government continues with its efforts to improve the ease of doing business in South Africa. We want to enable investors to promote and operate their businesses in a manner that will enable them to pursue various opportunities in various sectors of the economy. We look forward to seeing more Nigerian companies investing in South Africa. In fact, we want to see Nigerian products on the shelves of South African shops. Our efforts to create a favorable environment include our simplified visa process for Nigerian business people to travel to South Africa. Qualifying Nigerian business people can be granted a 5-year multiple entry visa. In addition, tourists from Nigeria are now able to apply for a visa without even submitting a passport. We expect that this 11th session of our Binational Commission will enable us to consolidate cooperation in a number of other areas.
And I do believe that we can all agree that the qualifying businesses do need that multiple entry visa. And when I'm saying top, I'm talking about the top chef kind of a thing, like your Aliko Dangote level. Those people do need the multiple entry visa. Do you get? And then I think it started wrapping South Africans off the wrong way when the president started speaking about tourists, Nigerian tourists coming to South Africa, their visa, how they can apply and all of that. So you heard him, right? So I think that's where the problem began, because we have seen many Nigerians coming to South Africa as visitors, and they never left. Instead, they got married in South Africa to South African ladies, being assisted by the corrupt South African officials. So that kind of a thing is not something good. Do I agree with South Africans there? Yes, I do agree with South Africans on that one. And the second one, when the president started speaking about we want to see the Nigerian products in our shelves. You get? Now put it together with how South Africans are currently feeling with foreign nationals running spaza shops that are unaliving South African children in high numbers. We have that pandemic going on in South Africa currently, if you did not know before. So we have that issue. So I feel like the president didn't have the right way to put his words out there. He didn't have to go far and saying we want to see the Nigerian products in our shelves when we're still having issues with products. I'm going to show you, I'm going to demonstrate for you, proceed, that Nigeria is also suffering the situation of fake foods there. They are suffering themselves. So now, am I saying we must not have Nigerian products on our shelves? No. Because I'm going to show you as well some Nigerian companies that are seemingly doing their production right. Producing good quality food, good quality, just when you look at those, you feel like, wow, they're doing well. You get? So now I think more than anything, the president there did not deliver what he wanted to tell the public well. He didn't deliver it well because it sets on South African citizens and we're like, this is offensive. Because we are currently going through a lot and you seem to have soft hands on illegal immigrants running spaza shops and selling food that is killing South African babies. And here you are, you're talking about products, Nigerian products on South African shelves, and automatically, because we are going through something that is serious, of which is unaliving of the children via foreign national shops. That's why the whole thing was messed up. It was also messed up by the president sounding like he was giving easy access to Nigerian tourists who never leave. Some leave, I have to be honest, some leave, but we have seen those who did not leave and they are living in South Africa like permanently. They are even scared to go home because they know that the chances are they might not be able to come back here. You get? I'm talking about the things that I know. And these people were assisted by corrupt South African officials. Let that sink, please. All right. I also took a tour on Google to check out the companies, the Nigerian companies that produce food, because for South Africans, when you talk about foreign national products on the shelves, their brain automatically goes to consumables, because currently we are going through a lot. South African children are being unalived by the food that is being sold, poisonous food that is being sold by illegal foreign nationals in South Africa. So please bear with South Africans. That's why the country is this sensitive to get. So now there are so a few companies not a few, I saw a whole list of Nigerian companies, but I was like, okay, let me just take two so that I can come out here and sample for my South African people. That actually, I was like, wow, these people are producing such good things. And then I took a tour a bit. Let me share this with you. And during my touring, I found AACE Foods. Let us read a bit about them. AACE Food Processing and Distribution Limited produce, package and distribute nutritious and tasty spices, seasonings and complementary foods made from the best of West Africa's fruits, herbs, vegetables and cereals. I don't want to bore you by reading more for you there, but I just want to show you their products, their packaging. It looks good. It looks like the people that have done their homework, but I'm still going to show you one more company. Just the name, I just wanted to show you the name there, their logo. It really looks good. It really looks good. These are their products. See, nicely packaged. Because sometimes when you think Nigerian food, you think of the things that you see in Hillpro, CPD and whatever. No. There are actually people that are doing things seriously there in Nigeria, and it looks good and they follow all the laws that are governing whatever that they are doing. And I also found another company that is called Apple and Pears Limited. Let's read a bit about more about them. It was incorporated in the year 2012 as an agro-allied and food industry to produce soya meal, concentrated and finished feed for the poultry industry, and refined edible oil, mayonnaise, ketchup, salad cream, vinegar. But we are still going to read more about this company. But I just want to show you the companies that can possibly bring stuff to South Africa. Just look, that is their infrastructure that they are manufacturing this in, manufacturing and packaging. It looks like a company that has got its house in order. Do you get? So by the time they export these things, and we do have our own regulations in South Africa which are going to inspect all of this when it is coming in. So don't think Hillbrook, don't think CBD now. And just about them, let me read it for you. Apples and Pears Limited was incorporated in the year 2012 as an agro-allied and food industry to produce soya meal, concentrate and finished feed for the poultry industry and refined edible oil, mayonnaise, ketchup, salad cream, vinegar, custard powder, and chocolate drink for the Nigerian market. The company has invested millions of dollars in land, building, construction or infrastructural facilities and machinery with one goal in mind, and that is to have an integrated facility encompassing the complete value chain of the soya bean business, from sourcing, processing, extraction, refining, packaging, and distribution of a wide range of premium products. In response to environmental concerns, we have installed solar panels to partially power the plant on solar energy. Also, we have a state-of-the-art effluent treatment plant to treat and reuse the water discharged during the various production processes. So you see, these people are very organized. Can you see here? Just imagine what we have seen Somalians and Ethiopians do. We have created strong brands such as LUCEY oil, Wina soya oil, Active oil, Lamoya mayonnaise, LUCEY ketchup, LUCEY salad cream, LUCEY Thousand Island, LUCEY vinegar, LUCEY custard, LUCEY chocolate drink, Al soya bean meal, Al soya lectin, HI Pro concentrate, and HI Pro feed. So those are the products that they've been manufacturing, and we have seen their infrastructure that we didn't see inside. But you see, these are the people that look like they can export good products to sit on our shelves together with ACT, the one that I showed you at the beginning. So these are the people that got their story together. You see that guy's got gloves on, the mask and whatnot. So how many South African countries that are in Nigeria? Over 120 South African companies operate. South African companies operate in Nigeria, including MTN, MultiChoice, Standard Bank, Protea Hotels, Mr. Price, South African Airways, Pep, Game, and more. Nigeria also has so many companies in South Africa. That was said by 2024. But I have also seen reports that, you know what, the scale is weighing towards our side. This one says 6 billion from 6 Nigerian companies has been invested in South Africa between 2008 and 2020. Dangote and GZI are the most significant, accounting for 95% of the total FDI from Nigeria into South Africa. Do you get? So it only makes sense that we work together, but certain things must not be compromised. Nigerian companies make their mark in South Africa. This article was done in 12 July 2021, and I'm going to read for you. It says, I was profoundly surprised and delighted when I saw the recent article by South Africa's Deputy High Commissioner to South Africa, Dr. Bobby Murwe, in the Daily Maverick online column Opinionista, entitled South Africa and Nigeria, the Continental Giants, with a sometimes uneasy but always symbiotic relationship. In my decade as an Africa analyst, I have rarely seen an article written by an African diplomat, so this is very encouraging. But I wish to add to this information contained in the following paragraph. The top South African investors in Nigeria are MTN Group, Remgro, Shoprite, Pick n Pay Holdings, Black Rhino, Pep, Standard Bank Group, Clover Industries, and Naspers. A total of 2.6 billion rand from 6 Nigerian companies has been invested in South Africa between 2008 and 2020. Dangote, 95% of the total FDI from Nigeria into South Africa. My aim is to embellish Dr. More's article by providing some examples of Nigerian businesses in South Africa, as I believe that the ambassador did not give the full picture when speaking about their presence in the country. It is also instructive to note that about a dozen or so Nigerian businesses have entered the South African market with little success and have subsequently exited. The businesses cover aviation, media, and banking. The notable ones are This Day newspaper, Financial Standard, Eric Air, and Bellevue Airlines, while Union Bank, Zenith Bank, and First Bank of Nigeria, 3 of the country's biggest banks, had representative offices in South Africa for some years. Many Nigerians believe that South Africa is a hostile environment for Nigerian companies to trade, whereas there are at least 120 companies from South Africa doing business in Nigeria, including MTN, which was issued a license in Nigeria 20 years ago. Ooh, that long? I did not know that. Dr. More only referred to Dangote Cement and JZ Industries, but several other companies have emerged. For example, Nigeria's Access Bank Group, which had over 30 million customers. With revenues of over $1 billion in 2020, bought South Africa's Grow Bank, formerly the Bank of Athens, for $60 million in 2020. Grow Bank was formerly a specialist agricultural bank. This is the first transaction where a company with truly deep African roots has secured a controlling stake in the bank in South Africa. In the words of Benny van Roy, Managing Director of Access Bank South Africa, the transaction is critical for the group and gives it the opportunity to expand its footprint into Africa's most sophisticated bank sector, in line with its strategy to become Africa's gateway. Access Bank South Africa has indicated that it plans to launch at least 3 physical branches before the year end. The bank will also provide digital services targeting immigrants and those in the diaspora who call South Africa home. Paystack, a Nigerian fintech company, has also come into the market. Paystack was bought by Stripe, a Silicon Valley company, last year for $200 million. Paystack currently processes more than half of all online payments made in Nigeria, and the 6-year-old firm is set to challenge Yoko and PayFast on South African soil. It is already undercutting its competitors with low transaction fees. In the aviation space, Air Peace commenced twice weekly flights between Lagos and Johannesburg on 17 December 2020, a development facilitated by the implementation of the bilateral air service agreement, which was signed during President Buhari's state visit to South Africa in October 2019. South Africa's like Buhari came again in some changes game. It is currently the only airline that flies directly between the two cities. Toyin Oladije, Air Peace's chief operating officer, said the flights were a way to further deepen the bilateral and economic relationship between the two countries. The service, she indicated, was a response to a yearning from people in Nigeria. So South Africans will be like, Buhari, not Buhari now, the new president that came in, Tinubu. Oh my goodness, I forget his name. Our brothers and sisters in South Africa, it is clear that in spite of the pandemic which has affected businesses around the world, Nigerian businesses have huge ambition to enter the South African market and the wider region by extension. In addition to the Nigerian businesses entering from Nigeria, there are many other Nigerian businesses that have been established in South Africa by Nigerians living there. So I have read this article and shared those companies to remind us that there are already existing businesses, Nigerian businesses that are operating in South Africa. There was no need for the president to announce it in the manner in which he did. I think that's where the whole chaos came in. So Nigeria has good businesses. Nigeria has companies that produces food, good food. So Nje, please. They said those Nigerians who were yearning for this, they are living in South Africa. Anyway, this is shown by the rapid growth, for example, of Nigerian restaurants, a new trend that has been spurred on by the reality of COVID-19 lockdowns. In the past few years, more than 10 Nigerian restaurants and food outlets have opened in Johannesburg, and they all seem to be doing very well. And they seem all to be doing very well, and those are the companies. I'm just reading a new slide. One of them, Jammy's Kitchen, was an entrant in the recent Jollof Wars competition between Ghana and Nigeria, held on Youth Day in South Africa, and a Congolese restaurant in Johannesburg, Karibu Wote. Other Nigerian-owned restaurants in Gauteng include Kitchen Vibes, Hombaze, Mama Put, and Jollof Cafe. Sorry, hey guys, please, I'm struggling here. It is also true that Nigerian music as well as Nollywood movies have become embedded in the subculture of South Africa. On the day Chelsea beat Manchester City to win the UEFA Cup, Nigerian singer Davido was at a Sentinel Hotel serenading some of his fans in an exclusive performance. Nigerian music is played in many South African entertainment outlets, and South Africans cannot seem to get enough of it. Adeduji Omotola, an independent Africa analyst. So I am sharing this to say, no, it is not all that gloomy and bad, but considering the things that we are facing in South Africa, the good Nigerians are suffering the impact, and we are now ordinary people fighting on social media, fighting one another on social media. So what I'm saying is, our own president was not supposed to have put it out there in the manner in which he did. We know he took, when he said easy visa for Nigerian tourists, that was offensive because we know what we're going through. And when it's the worst one, when he talked about we want to see Nigerian products on shelves, yes, there are already Nigerian products on shelves. So we didn't need that show. We didn't need to make it Anyway, I would like us to hear what Aliko Dangote once said about having many visas for traveling around the country, I mean the continent.
Mr. Dangote, you have previously complained about the difficulty of traveling on a Nigerian passport across the continent. Has it become easier?
Even an hour ago, I complained to President Kagame.
At least you can come here visa-free.
No, here is the best example, but I told him that, yes, as an investor, as somebody who really wants to make Africa great, I have to now apply 35 different visas on my passport. And I told Mr. President, I said, Mr. President, I really don't have the time to go and be dropping my passports in embassies to get a visa. But you see, the most annoying thing is that, yes, if you are treating everybody the same, then I can understand. You know, I can assure you, Patrick doesn't need 35 visas. Yeah. No, I said that. What I'm saying,
you don't need 35 visas on a French passport.
You don't need 35 visas on French passport.
No.
But, you know, so which means you have a freer movement than myself in Africa.
Yeah. But you have, I remember that there are 3 countries, Uganda, Kenya, and Rwanda. You have 1 visa for the free when you are a tourist.
This is true.
But I've done it. So it's good. So you can expand it. It's a question of will. But I think all what is moving on about community between Africa, is the African leaders to decide, will be good for Africa.
Yes, but it will change. And what I keep saying, right now, our main job is to make sure the regional markets, they all work. Okay? Once they work, then we can now go to AFCTA. But the AFCTA also, we need to make sure that it works. We cannot have a very, very promising continent, and our intra-trade is less than 16%. Okay, so we Africans will have to do it. If we are waiting for foreigners to come and do it, both the development of Africa, it's not going to happen. So it can only happen by us Africans. We must risk our resources and make sure that we lead. Then we will have people who actually trust and believe in Africa, like Patrick, to come and help us to push to the next level.
Thank you.
Just 1 second. On a point of personal privilege, because I have the microphone, I complained recently about Nigeria requires me to pay $215 for a single entry 1 month visa every time. biometrics is $170. And I said, as an African, as a Kenyan, this seems unfair. And they told me, actually, Kenya said it would be easier to come to Kenya, but then you introduced an electronic travel authorization, which made it harder to come to Kenya. So I was like, I don't work for government, but President Ruto is here, so he's heard.
Okay.
I think visa free also, and the issue of Nigerian products, encouraging Nigerian products in the shelves of South African companies or shops or whatever. You know, as a Nigerian who is staying in South Africa, I must say with all due respect, sir, that is the worst terrible decision, sir. You understand? I don't understand government. I am not a politician or what, but I'm just a fellow man who stays in the community of South Africa as a Nigerian. And as first-hand Nigerian, I know that my country is the most hated country in South Africa. Right now, at this moment in South Africa, South Africans are trying to fight back and take what belongs to them. South Africans are waking up and are saying enough is enough. We are tired of these foreigners coming to our country and cause chaos. We are tired of illegal things done by foreigners. I know that South Africans also commit crime, but it's their country. There's nothing more painful than somebody else comes into your own house and does bad. It's more painful than when you do it. You understand? You understand what I mean? We can all point fingers and say South Africans do it too, whatever. It is fine. But it's more painful when an outsider does it. Let's just be honest with ourselves. You understand? South Africa is trying to take control. They're not even done with the tax shops and with the whatever it is, the zamazamas and what, you know, just a lot of chaos being done by illegal foreigners and foreigners as a whole. And now we are trying to bring more foreigners into the country, sir. And I must be honest with you, sir, that is a terrible decision from the bottom of my heart, sir. I say it and I say it and I hit my chest without fear. That is a terrible decision. Right now, South Africans are not looking forward to more Nigerians of all people to come into their own country. And you know what? I must commend South Africa for fighting for their own country, for their own land, and for opportunities. You understand? Whether it took time for people to wake up, at the end of the day, people have woken up, and that's a good thing. I wish I could say the same thing about my own country. My country is great, Nigeria, but unfortunately.
Yeah. Now that you have read all of that, if you are still here, that's if I'm lucky to keep you for this long to up to this point. So all that information that I've shared with you so far, what do you think about it? Please do use the comment section to share your views, whether you want to criticize the channel, criticize me the way in which I compiled this video, or anything that you want to share. Please do so.
This is all of us. Big problem that Nigeria faces is fake rice.
Seriously, this is fake. And this is what we have been eating in our stomach. All the name of basmati.
You see it? You see it is burning.
Take a look at this.
You see it is burning. This is me.
In case you don't know the rice, this is the rice. Take a look at the rice.
See it?
It's fake.
When I'm telling people that this is fake, they don't believe me.
So fake. Oh
You will
my
be drinking
God.
pepper soup.
You guys have to be careful of what you buy. Oh my God.
For my people, what we are eating in the name of mathematics, sent rice. See, I'm doing it practice.
We are eating rubber.
With the possibilities of the shutdown that is now being spread around, that is going to happen on the 9th. So the government felt compelled to come and readdress what they said on that day about Nigeria and visas and Nigerian products, because they're trying to calm the citizens of this country, and I don't think they are winning. But at the same time, the festive season might be the saving grace for all that don't want to see the chaos like that happening. I don't want to see a chaos like that happening. And for South Africans, they feel like, you know what, you need to take to the streets and fight. So the government came to explain, said this is the part of the visa concerns initiated by the South African government to enable economic activities and boost tourism while protecting our national security. The modernization of the visa application process does not compromise the integrity of the visa system. And the South Africans are not buying it. I'm just hoping somewhere that we are separating the businesses from the tourism and what the president said about food. Prospective travelers can apply for their visas without submitting their passports along with their applications. At the time of application, they are only required to submit certified copies of the bio page of their passport, and their actual passport should be availed during the application process for verification and confirmation. And you see, this is the mess that we didn't need, because it seems like the passport will be needed. There was no need to say what the president said. I still say there was no need. We didn't need that, because now it can take some chaos. It looks like things are changing, but things are remaining the same. According to this that I'm reading here, we still need the passport. So why did the president say that? Or did the president write that speech even? Anyway, once a visa has been approved, they are required to submit their passport for the process to be completed and for the visa to be fixed in the passport. Guys, you see, we did not need that statement, eh? We did not need. This is a way in which it was supposed to be put out there without triggering the traumas that we are currently going through. Without triggering those traumas. The changes have improved the customer experience while ensuring the security and integrity of the overall visa application process. Hey. And then why did we have the statement that without they don't need their passport? My goodness, that was so unnecessary, because all the chaos is stemming from there. Because that might happen on Monday. I think we still need the president to come and clarify and say no. This is what I meant. All right. People started commenting. This one said, our national security is already severely compromised by Nigerian nationals. What you going to do about that? Make it easier? And this one says, can Nigerians tell me if any South African man has ever kidnapped, raped, and trafficked Nigerian women in Nigeria? This is a fair question. I would like to ask everyone, including our neighbors close here, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Mozambique, how many South Africans? We know that Nigerians will exploit these lax visa requirements, entering as tourists with no intentions of living. That's what the Zimbabweans did and are still doing. The tourist visa brought in millions of them, many of whom became beneficiaries of the ZEP. This is where I support South Africans and say, you know what, our concerns are valid. You know, we need to do anything possible to make sure that we all get back on the rail and do things right. And this one says, not all Nigerians are bad, but majority of them are. I haven't heard even their politicians or government reminding them their worldwide unbecoming behavior. Most nations have revolted against them. More should. Keep them uncomfortable until they behave. Do you want to know if I support this? Hell yeah! But we want to live with all Nigerians peacefully. Because I have Nigerians in my own circle that are good. Super good. We also criticize the ones that are bad. So we need more Nigerians reprimanding them. Even the West should. This one says, knowing how desperate Nigerians are of getting out of their country, opening South Africa to them is wild. 5% of Nigerians that are already here have done so much damage. How? Now imagine the millions of Nigerians that are coming here. Oh, shame, frustrations in South Africa. Teaser. Banana. South Africans, defend yourselves. We cannot increase in population, especially to take up our space in the market and give it to Nigerians, whereas that can be used to empower us. Cyril is clearly intoxicated. Hi, son Nanjani, and he must be removed as president. That aibo must never, or that nonsense must never happen in this. So this one, aibo, president intoxicated. What do you talk in this country? So whatever your views are, guys, please do use the comment section to share your views. This one says, this is far from the initial statement. Improvements on the country's visa system is never aimed at assisting a particular foreign nation. Agree. Trying to sound different makes y'all look very amateurish. You know, with social media in our lives these days, you can have that space to the authorities whatever is in your mind. You see, these times are different, so people are even mobilizing on social media for a shutdown. Will this shutdown succeed? I highly doubt. You know, we know ourselves in South Africa, it's all about growth. I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about those who do that. As for me and my house, guys, if you watched up to here, I really appreciate you taking your time, giving time to watch my video. I really appreciate it. As usual, kindly use the comment section to share your views. I'll be looking forward to reading those and have a fabulous festive weekend.